This is Glenn Raucher from Home to Henry, talking a bit about the approach to recording the vocal on our last record, Lost and Found. In our previous record, Another Life, we had an experience where I recorded the first 8 vocals in a vocal booth and got acceptable takes. And then upon preparing to record the 9th and 10th songs out of 10 on the record, found that the engineer wanted to do an experiment, which was record the vocals live without headphones, with everybody else in the room in the control booth, singing into a really good microphone with the speakers. And that approach wound up resulting in superior vocal performances compared to the other 8, which were fine. And we certainly could have released a record with those 8 performances on it with no one else the wiser. But we were faced with a choice. The choice became spend some time and money re-recording the vocals in the new manner or leave them as is. And of course, we decided to go with what was going to be best. And we recorded all 8 vocals over in one day, and that was what you hear on our first record. We learned a lot from our first session, and going into recording with Dave and George on Lost and Found, we knew that we didn't really have the option, because of time, to record in the control booth. So I knew that I had to bring a certain approach in the ISO booth, so that it felt like a live performance in the same way that the songs on Another Life did. We recorded them, we got very acceptable performances that felt like live performances. And then Dave and I retreated to his home studio over on the east side, and we really went into all of the vocal performances, trying to figure out, is this as good as we can possibly get? Some of them we recorded over in their entirety. I know that Payphone, for instance, was a song that we wanted to get a certain quality to it that we didn't quite get up to the level we wanted to in the initial session. And then the other thing that he wanted to do was, we had recorded all the backing vocals with Kevin and Lenny and Todd doing really, really great work around one mic and have them sing sort of like old style harmonies. And so the problem with that was, if any one of them was a little bit off, we couldn't isolate which one and have them re-record it. We had to record the whole thing. Due to time constraints and space constraints, we wound up in some cases having me re-record some of the harmony vocals, which I had never really done before, except for on Back to You on our first record. And so it was a real challenge, but Dave gave me such a safe space to work in that I would go in to try to match the harmony, and if it didn't work, he would just say, okay, we know we can do better. Let's get back and try it again. And by the time we were done, we had a mix of the very good harmonies that Lenny, Todd, and Kevin did. And not only my harmonies that replaced some of the ones that weren't perfect, but because of the safety I felt working with Dave, we recorded a bunch of new things on the spot, like, for instance, the vocal in the bridge to Upstairs, as well as a couple of other things all over the record, which is the first time I'd really explored a variety of vocal approaches and singing counter harmonies with myself and counter melodies. And it was a real positive experience, which I think bodes well for us going forward with the new batch of songs, which we hope to record very soon for you all. Thank you for listening, and please do check out Lost and Found by Home to Henry.